Yo, guys, sorry, I'm still trying to set this all up. Everything is so wacky right now. I tried doing a dual stream, believe it or not, and it's been completely wacky. Still trying to get everything in here right now. Video capture. That's video capture. There it is. There you get a better. Cool. Alrighty. So I'll keep that for now. Man, I look so. I'm not used to having everything here. Man, so what I was trying to do. Can you guys hear me okay? You guys hear me? Everything all right? Everything good? So, so basically, what I was trying to do was I was trying to stream also to Instagram because Instagram has been growing like really well, and what I wanted to do was dual stream to YouTube, and then on my phone YouTube Shorts, and then on Instagram Live as well. And oh man, it just seems like I don't know, I couldn't figure it out for some reason when I use the actual stream, this whole plugin on OBS Studio, which is what I'm using to broadcast. It's not letting me go or connect to Instagram, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure it out. It's gonna be like a whole thing where I figure out, study it, and see what to do. But that is not working, which sucks. But it is what it is, man. Uh, let's go, family. I lost. What? Oh man, dude, I am so freaking sorry, David. Dude, yeah. Damn, man. Sorry, my guy. I hope I hope you're handling it as best you can. I definitely have never been in that situation. I've been in other situations that are really scary regarding self harm or people that I know trying to self harm. So I understand to an extent of the idea what you could be going through. But I just want to let you know, man, stay strong, dude. And I hope, man, hope shit gets better, man. Uh, yeah, man, it's really hard because like I've gotten to a point where I used to be like really naive, especially like that's why like Star Wars has helped me so much. Where regarding just like not taking for granted the things that have been like around my life anymore, because one thing I've understood a lot is just kind of from from my past and everything, and now I'm making Star Wars videos, and Star Wars has kind of helped me not take things for granted, especially like in the now. There's a lot of people, especially with like content creators, Star Wars content creators, um, that they're consistently like fighting one another, and it's really sad, I would say, to see everything go through and everybody just kind of, pick sides and choose sides. But when it comes to content creation and people making content creation, everyone's trying to get however many views or however many followers and subscribers and stuff like that. I think that everybody kind of forgets like to have fun or why they started. And you can kind of see that. You can kind of see how things like affect the community, and people will just continue to continuously try to, everyone has an agenda. I have an agenda. I just want to talk Star Wars and talk to people, and that's why I started making the videos. But man, David, I totally understand. I totally understand the pain of losing something that you appreciate, and I also understand of, uh, not getting what you want. So that's why I've just kind of really just kind of taken the time to freeze and chill out and relax and appreciate what's with me, because I have a couple thousand views for the shorts every single time I upload them. Sometimes it's like 100, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 2. But I remember someone like myself that was first started content creation and streaming. I think it was the Tomb Raider game back in like 2011 or something on Justin TV, and I had nobody, and I was streaming to myself, talking to chat. So like I think that people often forget, how much that person that started that dream of creating content would see where you are now, and just really appreciate everything that's happening. And I don't want to be that person that takes things for granted, along with the people that I'm talking in chat right now. You know, David Torres, Imperial Activity Fam, Ray's Texas Yankee. You know, even the people that are watching anti anime association leader. You know, and you know, like people like that. You know, that are watching the chat. And, you know, so it's cool, and I really appreciate that because I'm used to, you know, I'm used to being a scrub. I still am a scrub, you know. I just make Star Wars videos, you know. But yeah, man, I'm just glad that you guys are here, and I appreciate you. And David, I totally understand, man. Thanks, dude. Yes, but keep going. Yo, iPad Animations, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. For those that are just joining the stream, I do Star Wars content creation. A lot of people probably have seen my face. Probably doing stuff on Star Wars channels. My video was actually tweeted out a while ago with the second season of The Mandalorian finale, The Rescue. My face was actually put in a video along with Star Wars Theory and a whole bunch of other content creators that did reactions and watch parties. And Mark Hamill tweeted us out a while ago, and so that's where like the bulk of the exposure had come from, was through my channel. So then from there I started doing lore videos because I love Star Wars lore so much, and I just wanted to continuously find people that love Star Wars and talk Star Wars. You know, thank you so much, iPad fam. Never seen Star Wars? That's okay, gents. It's all good. You know, do what you got to do. You do this full time? No. I have a job. I try to do it as much as I can. Because of YouTube Shorts, I've really kind of transitioned into making content just about every weekday, sometimes on Saturday, and my channel has doubled in terms of like, it's not a lot. It's, you know, I was at 3K subscribers for like since like 2000 whatever, and because of YouTube Shorts, I finally got into it, and YouTube Shorts has really just been absolutely helping me so much. In the past like 3 months, I think I've gotten 3K subscribers, so I'm at 6K. I'm on my way to 7. So, I mean, realistically, we could be looking at 10,000 subscribers at the end of the year, which is a lot. That's 10,000 more most people have, especially people that are trying to make content. You know, yeah, man, it's interesting. Jens, I really appreciate it. By the way, guys, if you guys see me talking to people inside the chat, so I have the phone stream that I got right now, so I'll show you guys that are looking at the actual stream on. I got my phone right now, and that's going to YouTube Shorts, and it looks like YouTube Shorts is going to a different area. The actual stream that's happening on OBS to my computer with Ray's and everybody else, everyone that's on the official channel, actually has a different amount of people, but there's more on the phone. So I don't know if it's just because Shorts is here and they're trying to capitalize on the live stuff for Shorts. But if you guys see me interacting with people that you don't see here, it's probably because I'm talking on the phone. But yeah, it is a passion to me. Star Wars is kind of life, man. I really appreciate it. I got a lot of stuff. I don't know, man. It's one of the reasons why I really appreciate life. I know that sounds like really crazy. Like, why does this guy care so much about you know, a movie? But like, that's how it is for me. You know, it's just one of those things. A lot of people love it. A lot of people like it. But to me, it's life. The channel growth is awesome. I know, Reza, and you've been here for a while. You've seen so many different transitions and transformations and eras and arcs of my story. So it's good to see everybody kind of coming together. And finally, we are at the time and era of my life that I want to be around. And I really just have to take a lot of time to just appreciate what I have, because that's the most part, man. Well, before the newer stuff, anyway. Yo, Leon, thank you so much. Is your gaming channel actually comfortable? Is your gaming chair actually comfortable to you? So, funny enough, before I started working at this new job, this was the company I was the social media and community manager for, and I was helped selling these chairs at Respawn. I grew their socials to about 100,000 followers on Twitter alone. It got them verified on Twitter, and the company was selling gaming chairs that were fabric, but this was the more ergonomic gaming chair. So this one is okay, but you know, I got laid off like 2 years 2 years ago by them. And the only reason why I haven't upgraded my chair is because I really want a Secret Lab chair for Star Wars, so I can just get it all themed out and look really cool. So I use a regular office chair. You know, you use whatever you got. You know, that's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes office chairs are really good, especially because they're ergonomic. Because that's the thing too, is like, to see how this has uh, the uh, the mesh, and that's supposed to be really good for your back. It's breathable. It helps. Sometimes the cushion can really fold in a manner that doesn't help your spine and back. And as someone that used to sell those chairs a lot, I understand how bad they can be. But yeah, fam. Anyone's got any Star Wars Q&A stuff? Would love to hear you guys. How you guys doing? I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the community. I know we're kind of mourning here for James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, and I've really been bummed about it the past couple days. I actually made a video today about it that you guys won't see till about Thursday. So if you guys have been keeping up with the shorts, that's what's going on. A lot of the older comics, the Golden Age of the Sith and the fall of the Sith Empire, man. I just got started reading again on the Dark Lords of the Sith, which is pretty good. I think it's about 6 issues, 4 or 5 issues. But that whole entire era of comics is so interesting because it starts around 1992, and I think it ends around 1998. And some of the issues, or some of the sagas, only have like 2 or 3 issues in the entire saga for Star Wars. But there's so much rich story, great ideas in there that you could see kind of influence the rest of the storytelling, the rest of Star Wars video games, and it's pretty sick, man. I love it. Did you like The Acolyte? I thought The Acolyte was okay. I don't think it should have been canceled. I don't think George would have canceled it. I think that there's just a lot of crazy things happening right now in the entertainment industry, and when you put so much money into something and you don't see a profit, of course the plug is going to get pulled. But that's the difference between a company putting in money and a creator like George Lucas. I think that there was a lot of really great ideas, and I did appreciate a lot of what it did, but overall I did not like the show. I loved certain things that happened, and I really wish that they could have just continued the stories and fixed those problems in another season, but that's probably not going to happen, and it is what it is. Set and Drop says, I actually stopped watching Star Wars when George Lucas passed? He didn't die, so I'm assuming you mean like pass it on. That's what I watch Star Wars anymore. It's not Lucas. I think I understand where you're coming from, but I also have to disagree because, especially with like Star Wars Rebels, or the first few seasons of The Mandalorian or Andor, there's a lot of really great stories in Star Wars, and I think a lot of people, they have certain very passionate views on Star Wars, and they either like it or they don't. But I heard a lot of the same criticisms when the prequels were coming out with Episode 1, 2, and 3, and a lot of it is kind of the same critiques. So I don't really mind the stuff that I don't like. I just try to do my best. If I don't like something, I move on, critique it, and that's it. I don't have to sit here and talk about it all the time. Texas Yankee on YouTube says, I've learned so much about James Earl Jones for the news coverage. How amazing that someone studied so much as a child and he went from... Yes, that is crazy too. It's crazy how incredible someone like that was, and that not only did he stutter, but he also was the main villain, in cinema. Like, Darth Vader is literally, like, to so many people in the industry, is like viewed as the greatest villain of all time, one of the greatest characters of all time. This is a character that influenced so much in cinema, and then you find out that, not only is the dude black, but he also stuttered a lot, and I think that's amazing. It just goes to show you what you can do. No matter what your limitation is. It just seems like the sky's the limit. If you take away Episode 3, do you think it would have been better? I think that in my opinion, if I was going to sit here and grade The Acolyte, I would say that the thing that ultimately was The Acolyte's undoing was probably the pacing, which I don't think was very good, and of course, maybe the decision-making with the story. I think Episode 3 was the weakest episode. I also think that the episode that showed what actually happened for Episode 3 was also weak, but I think the choreography was amazing. I think that the Soul and Master Indira, those characters were great. The Stranger is easily the best thing out of the entire show, and of course, live action Darth Plagueis was effing amazing, bro. And I'm just shocked that they don't continue the story literally because of that. you know. And there's things that people really love about that show, but I just felt like, when in terms of how the story played out and its decision making, uh, probably didn't really sit well with a lot of Star Wars fans, and I understand that. Salmonist says, "What's up, guys? I meant to wait for the live stream, but fell asleep. That's okay, fam. We just started. It's only, oh my god, it's been 20 minutes already. I feel like I've just started talking to all the cool kids. Dang it, man. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, passed on the original. Okay, so I heard that again. So chair, yo, Vex's person, thanks so much for being here, fam. Trying to make sure I get caught up on all of YouTube. But yeah, man, the Acolyte is what it is. You know, I wish it could have been better, but ultimately it got canceled, and you know, they didn't get enough profit from that show, and that's all there is, man. It is what it is. I can't wait for Andor season 2. I can't wait for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I've been noticing a lot of interesting critiques on Dave Filoni recently, and I don't know if that's like the new pattern now, that we're going to start to hate Dave Filoni. And of course, he can be critiqued, but I think it's really interesting how quickly certain aspects of Star Wars and fans turn on creators and the stories so quickly when they don't get it well. Yo, Aki again. It's so good to see you, fam. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yo, by the way, can we get everybody, all the apprentices and acolytes coming into the Dark Temple to talk Star Wars lore? Ready up. Yes. Don't forget Skeleton Crew coming this December. I am very excited for Skeleton Crew. The reason why is because I feel like there just isn't a lot of 80s X stories recently, and it's not just like Star Wars, it's just like in the entertainment industry there isn't a lot of stories that that talk about like shaping the person as they go on. You know, I don't know if you guys remember like all the Saturday morning cartoons and things like that, like Teen Titans, you know, or Dragon Ball Z, even something like Yu-Gi-Oh, which is really Samurai Jack was another one. But there just isn't a lot of stories that take a young adult or a young or an older kid and help them shape who they're going to be for the rest of their lives. And I think that that's kind of what's missing right now in a lot of the industry, is because, you know, you got kids watching The Boys, Immortals, Game of Thrones, you know, like the shows are very adult, and I think that so many kids don't really have stuff to look up to these days. And I think that something like Skeleton Crew is kind of perfect. And if it can capture that magic, you know, that we all appreciated for those Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that, I think that's going to be a banger. Texas Yankee says, "Are you doing a watch party for Skeleton Crew?" Yes, absolutely. We're going to do it. I don't care how bad the show is or what people are saying online. I'm going to watch it all the way through. And that's going to be the format. You know, we're going to, instead of the reactions like I used to do, what I started doing with the channel, before, how I started the channel before, it's just going to be watch parties, because watch parties are so fun. I don't have to edit anything. I get to sit here and talk, and that's the whole reason why I'm actually doing these live streams, so we can continue to cultivate the community, you know, and talk to people, and, you know, see that I'm not some fake person. Because I get a lot of people that continuously think that I'm some AI voice when I'm when I'm creating my Star Wars shorts, and I think it's really interesting. So, yeah, man, it's actually wild and crazy how many people think that, but yeah, really crazy. Yeah, man. We're gonna see, but I'm really excited for Skeleton Crew. I really wish I could play Star Wars Outlaws, but I don't know, man. The consistent changing for my console, bringing it over to PC. They just had an update, I think, for cross save, so I can play on my Xbox, save it, and then load it on my PC, and maybe that's going to be a better way that I can bring here. Imperial Activity says, yes, been there, love these watch parties. Yes, absolutely, fam. Thank you so much for being here. I noticed that you changed your username and your logo, which I think is really interesting, because you've always been an Imperial type of guy, and I think that suits you really well. So I really like that. I think the branding there is on point, fam. Yeah, man, it's awesome. Also, so I'm gonna try to recommend like a book or something every single time I come in here and we have a stream. But so today, guys, I'm gonna be recommending this. Okay, this is the Warfare book. All right, this is the Warfare book. If you're a Star Wars fan and you don't have this, I think that you should get this. This is one of the best. This is one of the best books. It's one of the best Star Wars books. I'm a huge Essential Atlas type of guy. I have so many of them, and for those that don't know, basically there's like nine, there's like nine of them, and a lot of them are kind of like older. But one of my favorites is the Star Wars Essential Guide to the Force, which is also amazing. One of the earliest essential guides, and it just has so much lore. And this book, kind of like they've recycled a lot of knowledge from this book, not just from the previous canon, but also like the current canon as well. A lot of original ideas come from that book, and it's amazing. And also, one of my favorite, of course, that goes into planets, that goes into the galaxy, and that is the Essential Atlas. Okay, these are some of the best freaking Star Wars books. But I just picked up the Warfare one as well, and it just continues, man. They're just all so good. And if you guys are in public one day, or, you're looking around for like something on like thrift stores that are close and local and stuff like that, please get them. Sometimes I think Barnes and Noble has them, but they don't usually have those older books, man. Those older books are very, very hard to find. Very, very hard to find. You're gonna have to really try to find people. Don't forget Skeleton Crew. Yes, I'm not the biggest sequel trilogy fan, but Ben Solo is one of my favorite characters, says Leon. Yeah, I love Kylo Ren, bro. I don't give a shit what someone says, man. I love Kylo. I love Vader. I love Anakin. I love Mando. I love Kylo. Kylo's my dude. I didn't necessarily appreciate the sequel trilogy as much as a lot of other people, but I don't know, man. I think it's just because I like Star Wars is kind of my life, you know. It really is, and I see where people see like something terrible. I still see potential. I can see where it can be fixed. I can see where it can be corrected, where it can go, how it can improve. And even with the sequel trilogy, man, I just still think that there's ways that you can remedy whatever happened. Some people are just like, no, that's it, it's over. I'm not those people, man. I'll always continue to try to figure out ways how it can improve, but I love it. RPG source books, yes. RPG source books are amazing for Star Wars. I do have one of them around here. It is the Knights of Fate Destiny book, and that's one of the newer ones. But some of the best Star Wars knowledge books are actually the old RPG books. I don't know if you guys ever heard about the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Encyclopedia or the Star Wars Campaign Guide. So much of those guides. Oh, also the what's it called? The Essential or the Encyclopedia of Adversaries. I have it. But it's the Adversaries book, which is also a role play book for Star Wars, and that has some of the greatest, coolest concepts for villains. You guys probably heard the Star Weird or the Nal Nal. Those are all where they originated from. And I don't know why this thing is so crooked. I'm so sorry, guys. What do you think of the Thrawn Ascendancy books? So I think the Chiss Ascendancy books are okay. I do have the first one. Thrawn is it Chaos Rising? Yes, Chaos Rising. Chaos Rising is okay, but that's the thing is I just think that the books are okay. I don't think they're as good as like Heir to the Empire, or some of the newer ones too, like Alliances or Treason. Alliance and Treason are so good. I freaking love those books. And of course, Heir to the Empires, that's the OG shit. But everything else, the Ascendancy books I just think are okay. I just think the Ascendancy books are okay. That's it. The Western Games books, yes, the Western ones too. I love the future live stream about Star Wars geography, like the history of Coruscant, Alderaan. That is an amazing idea, Texas Yankee. I actually was probably going to start working on the Fall of the Sith Empire, because remember last time we had the PowerPoint, the lecture about the Sith Empire, the dawn of the Sith Empire, and the rise of power of the Sith. And I think a lot of you guys really appreciated that. So I'm actually going to construct the Fall of the Sith Empire, which is going to be awesome. And that goes through about 3 or 4 eras of comic books for Star Wars, talking about everything, just like the entire history of it. And it's so interesting. The story is so cool. But I'm going to summarize it for you guys so you can get a good understanding. And I think that's probably going to be in the next week or 2 weeks that we can do that. I would love to do that, man. You only like Kylo because he looks like you. Dude, I have a cosplay because of Kylo, man. Yes, I know, dude. Especially when I have my long hair. It's crazy. It's so funny. Especially when I used to do reactions. People used to call me Discount Kylo Ren, which I think was hilarious. I was not expecting to relate to him that much. That's how I felt about him too, man, literally. And he was going through similar things I was going through in life with family, and I thought that was just crazy. Someone was was cheating, bro. They were just taking all this stuff. Leon says Rise of Skywalker was where they screwed up with him, in my opinion. He was badass. Anakin v 2.0. I just don't like how they killed him. I just don't like how they. I don't appreciate the constant need to kill off characters for emotion. And I think that is a very quick way to do things instead of trying to continue the story on. And I think that's another reason why I didn't really appreciate the sequel trilogy as much, is because I feel like, why are we continuously doing trilogies? Why can't we just tell the story until the story ends? Is that 6 movies? Is that 4 movies? Why does it always have to be 3? Why does this always have to be 20 minutes of a show and then 10 minutes of credits? Can we do something that hasn't been done yet? Can we tell the story like it is? Which is why I appreciated Andor so much, and I hope that we get more of that in the future, of that type of storytelling, because that was like a novelization, man. Like an expanded universe book. Wasn't really the greatest show to react to, but it was a great show overall. I don't usually buy essential guides, but do you think I could possibly not buy what you what you recommend? Yeah, absolutely. I think. Honestly, what would you be interested in? Because you can even still look these things up online. There's other source books, there's comics and things like that. I like the source books. For instance, like these newer canon books, which are okay. They're pretty good, actually, but they're literally like revisions of the books that I just showed you. And like, this is like the Jedi Path, and this is the Book of the Sith. They really have great knowledge. And like I was talking to you again, it's literally from either the Warfare book or the Essential Guide to the Force that have been made back in 2006, 2007. And they just recycle that knowledge for anyone that's coming into the fandom. But even regular books, like actual audiobooks and comics, man, go ham. Try it out. Go through a character that you really like, or a movie that you really like, and find books or comics that are based off that character or those movies that you like, that era of Star Wars that you appreciate. I guarantee that you'll dip in so much more than you ever have, and that's where I start, basically. Leon says they could have at least let him live and show us his life after being redeemed. But that's the thing, though, too, is I think a lot of Star Wars fans restrict themselves from understanding that, Kylo Ren or Ben Solo is more powerful than ever now. Just because he's dead doesn't mean that he can't show up. Just because he's dead doesn't mean that he can't support Rey or help, improve her. There's Jedi Dooku Lost, which is a new book canon, by the way, by Cavan Scott. Does a really great depiction of how a Jedi Master stays with their Padawan after they die. And the voice of this Jedi Master is inside the Padawan the entire time until the Padawan no longer wants to be a part of the light side of the Jedi. And that who I'm talking about is Kathleen Kennedy. Sorry, sorry, I just read Kathleen Kennedy in there for David Torres. 1 second. Who I'm talking about is Asajj Ventress. And Asajj Ventress is actually talking to her master until she ends up executing an innocent person. And that's basically like where she went past the penumbra of the dark side, stepped into the dark side and gave herself to it, and that's why she was no longer allowed to hear her master. Something like that can happen with Rey and Kylo Ren, or you can just like give Kylo Ren the the Mufasa treatment and let him appear into the clouds and teach Rey about something. I don't know, man. There's a lot of really great ideas. The Force is limitless, and I think you can apply that in so many different ways. And it's just really about what the actors want to do and what the story should do. At the end of the day, man. Shlom says, hard time with the sequels because after the originals and the Legends Luke Rebuild the Order sequel make him look like a complete failure, and that really sucks. It also ruined the whole fact that Anakin was the chosen one. So I disagree on the the Anakin thing. I think that people that continuously jab at Anakin's reputation, I don't think they completely understand that that's not true. Especially when, Darth Vader sacrificed himself, right? To save Luke. And then, like 2 years after that, you have the Dark Empire comics, which were some of the first comics that George Lucas approved, from Dark Horse. And, not only does the Emperor come back, but also Luke Skywalker is serving the Emperor and turning to the dark side. He also almost kills Han Solo and threatens to kill Leia. These are things that were already established inside the lore for a very long time in the expanded universe, mind you, which so many fans, including myself, really appreciated back then and saw as the true canon. George Lucas probably wouldn't say the same thing. But then you see The Last Jedi, and then you see The Rise of Skywalker. Those ideas essentially came from that comic iteration. Is that the right thing to do? Is that the right character arc for Luke Skywalker? I think that's debatable. But at the same time, too, Rey is there at the end of Rise of Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber is there. Anakin Skywalker's daughter's lightsaber is there. Those things cannot exist without Anakin Skywalker being a Jedi and doing what he did. So in some way, Anakin Skywalker was able to still destroy the Emperor, Darth Sidious, because of those lightsabers, because of his children, and because of Rey. So I understand where people get upset, but at the end of the day, man, that story is not a part of what we of their new canon. But at the same time, too, I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as people have said. But that's just my opinion, man. But Luke Skywalker, on the other hand, that's definitely something that I think is a very valid criticism, and I agree with 100%. And I don't really have anything to combat that criticism outside that, when you turn off a light and you're really scared and you jump and you get scared, you close your fists. I think it's the same thing that Luke Skywalker did where he ignited his lightsaber. He didn't want to kill Ben. But that depiction of Luke Skywalker, in my opinion, was not an accurate representation of who he was. That's all I see. Seeing him in the World Between Worlds, like Anakin and Ahsoka show, would be pretty damn cool. Not gonna lie. Yes, and I don't think World Between Worlds should be utilized so much. In fact, I think if it's going to be utilized, it should only be Anakin, and I think Anakin is the only person that should continuously abuse that idea. But also the thing with Anakin too is like, Anakin is practically a god now, so Anakin can do whatever he wants. Now, is Anakin going to continuously save people? I don't think he should do that. I think there should be other responsibilities, especially since he's the chosen one. But if you all really want to see Anakin Skywalker do some amazing things, dude, I recommend you all get this book called Shadow of the Sith. And it's one of the new canon books, and it's so freaking good because Anakin Skywalker is in it. And not only does he help Luke Skywalker, he also demonstrates his power as a Force ghost. And it really does, in my opinion, redeem and send true what Anakin Skywalker is and what he's doing after Return of the Jedi. It's one of the best Star Wars books. I think a lot of people don't even freaking know it exists, but it is probably the best Anakin Skywalker / Luke Skywalker book in the new canon, and it's not even close. Not even close, guys. So go check it out, please. Thoughts on Zane Carrick? Not sure how to spell his name. Zane Carrick. I'm not. That name does not ring a bell for me. I'll have to check it out. 1 second. Are you shocked Kathleen Kennedy is still at her job? No, I'm not shocked. I think that people. I think that Kathleen. It was Kathleen Kennedy's. Here, you know what? I'm gonna get some sauce real quick. Give me 1 second, okay? Because I'm gonna say this, and I want to make sure that I know that I'm saying it correctly. So 1 second. Okay, the reason why I'm getting this book is because I'm not defending bad decisions in the Star Wars, but I will say this. I will say that when you continuously critique somebody, I think that if it's fair to also give them kudos and let them know, like, wow, this was a great job. What do we always consistently talk about that is really good in Star Wars, Disney era, right? Star Wars Visions is amazing. The first season, I love the first season so much. The Mandalorian, first 2 seasons, amazing, godlike. I think Ahsoka is really good. Andor, godlike, peak, baby, I love it. Rogue One, amazing. Solo is so underappreciated. On top of that, that movie had so many reshoots and 2 different directors, and it still turned out pretty damn good. Now, the reason why I'm flipping pages right now is because I'm trying to find something that I remember reading inside the Mandalorian art book. And you're going to have to bear with me here, but I want you to understand that most of these things, whether it's bad or good, are literally green-lit by somebody. So it goes through in a whole... At first, there is a pitch created. After the pitch is created, right? And this is coming from this Mandalorian book. After the pitch is created, someone says, cool, let's see what we can do now. And then there's probably like a demo or something, and then people fix the script and the ideas and something, and then finally, at the end of all this, when this is all done, it is shared with Kathleen Kennedy, right? So, in this book that is so freaking long, it's so I'm trying to find exactly where it says Kathleen Kennedy, but I want to make sure that I get it correctly, because if I remember what I read, this says here. So let's see. So maybe I'll just read the whole damn thing for you guys. So like millions of other children this summer of 1977, 10-year-old Jon Favreau of the Flushing Queens of Dungeons and Dragons and son of New York City public teachers, Star Wars with his dad. I was right there in a sweet spot, right at the age of the time that Star Wars surprised me. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know what to expect. I went to the theater and my dad got my mind blown. And there was nothing really transcendent about different generations watching movies together. When you're loving it and your parents are loving it too, you're downloading the whole set of tastes. As you're forming who you are, you imprint upon these experiences. Even prior to Star Wars in the cinema, Star Wars creator George Lucas made a big impact on Favreau. My experience in 1997, coming off also being completely enthralled by American Graffiti, also George Lucas, which held forged to my taste in music. And Hot Rod's nostalgic culture that echoes in Swingers. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the films of Lucas by any stretch. In January of 2008, with 3 directional turns of how under his belt, including 2003 Critical Role and commercial smash Elf, Favreau found his path intersecting with Star Wars once more. His first Marvel superhero, Iron Man, for Paramount Pictures, was mixed at Skywalker Sound, Lucasfilm audio post-production facility, located on the grounds of George Lucas's fabled Skywalker Ranch in Martin County, California. I'm getting to the part. I promise this is relevant, okay? I promise. So Iron Man, so we got Power Man. So Iron Man was very much influenced by Star Wars, and it taught me about the relationship with the source material, that there is way too much to honor people who have been with the fans, who know everything about it and still invite new people. While I was mixing at the ranch, Iron Man producer, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige gave me the making of a Star Wars book by J.W. Rensler in 2007. I remember seeing how precarious everything felt on Star Wars and what it turned out to. And I remember how precarious Iron Man felt at the time and thinking, what if it's the same type of thing where actually start something big from this, where we start actually something from big. Okay, so I was trying to get invited into the archives on Skywalker Ranch, where the original and prequel Star Wars trilogy props and costumes are stored. And I was at the ranch for weeks and couldn't get an invitation. Eventually, I heard word that they were going to let me come to the archives, and I went to Kevin Feige, who, by the way, knew every single thing in there. The curators were really impressed by him. So, simultaneously, Favreau and Skywalker Ranch, Lucas, and supervising director Dave Filoni were putting finished touches on the season Clone Wars animated series. I remember being invited to the Big Rock Ranch, the property of adjoining Skywalker Ranch, where Lucasfilm and headquarters, to meet Dave. Favreau said I showed Dave Iron Man, and he showed me the Clone Wars to meet my son Max, which we thought was really cool. I think was one of the first people, certainly first outside of the Marvel Iron Man. And I said, hey, if you ever want a voice, Favreau would go to play on various characters, especially Pre Vizsla, the Mandalorian leader of the Death Watch faction. So this goes on. I swear to God, there is the damn pitch thing here that talks about the whole pitch of the Mandalorian. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here this is where it is. So I dusted off some old ideas and characters from when I heard that Disney was going to be doing Star Wars, Favreau recalled. Those ideas included an intimate, character-driven narrative disconnected from the larger war of Star Wars, featuring a lone Mandalorian gunfighter redeemed by the child that he must protect. It's a straightforward story. Straightforward storytelling would echo the Western and samurai films that Favreau enjoyed with his father in his formative years. After Kathy heard the pitch, she mentioned that Dave Filoni was thinking about doing something with the history of the Mandalorians. And I said, I know Dave. I love Dave. Finally, on November 14th, Kathleen Kennedy, Jon Favreau, and Filoni Beck, and Star Wars Rebels writer Chris Yaw got together at Kennedy and Marshall to hear Favreau's story pitch.
The stories were something that I had been working on for a long time. I didn't know it would be for television, but I love the idea of doing it, of doing a story. After the fall of the Empire and Return of the Jedi, Lucasfilm Art Development, led by executive creator Doug Chiang, we all know him, were conscripted with the following day to complete several pieces of concept art's pitch. And so it just goes on to tell you. So that is that is the whole process of how they start. They have an idea and they listen to it. And so when a project says no, they're all saying no to it. They don't like it. When a project is said yes to, they all say yes. And Kathy is there too. So all the things that people criticize Kathy for because of these projects don't work, cool. But when these projects work, like a video game, like The Mandalorian, like Andor, like Rogue One, Kathy is saying yes. So that is the thing. You hear about it every single time she makes a mistake. You never hear about it when she says something good. And we would not have The Mandalorian and Andor and the things you love, which probably aren't a lot for a lot of people, but this is one of the reasons why. You know, I think everyone everyone online continues to get on a side. Everybody chooses a side. But that's why you read. That's why you find these out. You know, and I personally just feel like, yeah, sure, there's a lot of stuff that I don't like about it, but there's also things that I really do like about it, and people will continuously talk about the things that they hate more so than things that they like, and that's all you're going to hear. So if there's going to be people that you're going to thank for the good stories like Favreau, you also got to thank someone like Kennedy because she's the one ultimately saying yes and no to it. Did you see the leaked trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu? No, I did not. I'm waiting for the actual trailer to release. I don't like looking at leaks. I think because like watch parties and stuff, people like my reactions to be genuine. And if I know something is going to happen, I'm not really good at selling it. You know, I'm not a good actor. That's why I think a lot of people really appreciate my reactions, is because they're genuine and they're emotional. So I try not to mess that up. Oh yeah, we're long overdue for a Sith Cloak appearance. Yes, absolutely. Yes, when it's not 1,000 degrees in here. Yes, main character, Old Republic comic volumes. Okay, so yes, I haven't read all the Old Republic comics. I am nearing that. Once I finish the Tales series again, then I'm moving on to the next. And I think the Old Republic is a few comics after that. But I do have those bought and lined up and ready to read, so I'm ready to go. Yeah, it looks epic. Yeah, no, it's I think people do not understand like how good Jon Favreau is as a director, especially when he is doing a movie. And I think a lot of people are gonna. I think it's gonna be a good movie. You know. Yeah, it's going to do good, because Star Wars needs to be at the box office. It's Star Wars has kind of missed the box office a lot. You know, is that the season 1 art of The Mandalorian? Yes, it is. That is. So the page actually goes. It goes. I think it's like well into it. 4th, 5. Yes, I basically read. Yes, I basically read the episode of the gallery. Yes, the gallery is good too, but the thing is too about the gallery is like, there's so many people that think like what they're saying is fake, you know, because Kathy's there, but that legitimately is the process, you know, and especially when it's in text. You go back and you read these articles with like George Lucas and everything. That's, you know, that's all recorded. That's all from word of mouth, you know. So I just feel like people want to believe whatever, you know, is for their agenda, whatever is not. You know, and the more that I keep reading stuff in books, it seems like that's like the truer version. Yeah. So Visions, fingers can't keep with my brain. That's okay. Which Visions episode was your favorite? Okay, so Star Wars Visions season 1 is amazing. I love it so much. I cannot get the first episode, so The Duel by Kamikaze Doga. That one is amazing. I think that one needs to be turned into a whole series. I also love The Village Bride. The character F is amazing. She represents everything that a Jedi should be. That should be an entire series. The Ninth Jedi was like a freaking movie. I love The Ninth Jedi. I don't know, man. Star Wars Visions has got a lot. Even The Elder was really, really good. But I think the director retired or something. And I remember him talking about how he really loved this story because the two characters that he had in the story were, it was like his older self teaching his younger self, and he really, really, really would have loved to make it an entire series, but this was going to be his like last thing ever, his last project ever, and so he was just so excited to work Star Wars because Star Wars essentially inspired him to start doing animation, and it was really cool to see him do that before he retired. Star Wars Visions is amazing. I think that the Japanese anime studios have such incredible creativity that I think that's a lot of stuff that you really can't get these days. They're just so talented. It truly is their life, and they put everything into it. And I really feel like if Disney if Disney Star Wars wanted to capitalize more on a lot of new canon animations, they really should be, keeping a lot of these studios in Star Wars and making series, I think, for future generations. I think there's a lot of untapped potential there, but we'll see. I don't know if it'll do over 1 billion considering the state of Star Wars right now. So I think that if you do, the only reason why I say I don't think that's accurate, like an accurate goal or like a realistic goal for 1 billion is because it's not an episodic movie. It's just it's a standalone. So I think like I think 600 million is a very good goal for Star Wars. I think if you can do 600 million right there with that budget, that is huge. Because Solo did good compared to regular movies, but Star Wars movies are should not be compared to regular movies, and I think that's why so many people thought Solo was a failure, because it just compared to Star Wars movies, no, it did not make as much as a regular Star Wars movie. But I think if Mandalorian and Grogu can make about 600 million, that is great, especially in this era of entertainment. It's completely different from 2000 what 16 2000 so 50, what 2015 Force Awakens came out. 2016 I think Rogue One had come out, and then 2017 The Last Jedi came out, and then Solo came out right after. God, yeah. So I think that'll be a really good goal for them. Yeah, Shalom. Yes, it's so good to see you. The Fist of the North Star is the best anime. Okay, fam. No problem. I'm glad that you appreciate it. I think because we were talking about Star Wars Visions, we were talking about. But yeah, I really love Star Wars Visions. It was amazing, man. So good, so solid. But yeah, guys. So we have 8 minutes left. We only have a couple minutes left here. So if you guys have any more Star Wars questions, please let me know. But yeah, thank you guys for coming over to the stream again. It was so nice to see you guys. Always so awesome. Love talking Star Wars with you guys. You guys are the coolest ever. So I really appreciate you. We do this every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. So if you guys want to come back, make sure you please continue to follow the channel. Watch the shorts. Watch the Star Wars shorts, fam. They're so fun. And everybody's like been really liking them, which is really cool. But I can't wait to get to 7K. We're getting so close. Just a couple more hundred and we're getting there. What was Darth Vader's first line? So I can't fact check you, man. Oh, Darth Vader. Yeah, thank you, Reza. I appreciate it. It's so funny. I'm not gonna tell you his first line, but I will talk about how I think it's hilarious that there's a lot of people that will say that they're Star Wars fans and they will always say, "Luke, I am your father." And I can't tell you how many people that I've encountered that say that all the time. "Luke, I am your father. Luke, I am your father." And it's so funny that when you watch the scene, he says, "No, I am your father." I don't know where that started, but when you watch interviews and things like that, people when they make fun of Star Wars, they always say, "Luke, I am your father." And I don't know where it's because the internet wasn't around during that day. There was like interviews and shows and late night TV and things like that. So I don't know where that transpired. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like I don't know how that happened, where that started. I don't know if it's because someone like a writer thought that was hilarious, Actually, I'm actually gonna search this up right now. Why did what started Luke? I am your father. It's agreed during the fight in Cloud City just before Darth Vader. Yes, yes. He says no. I no. He does not say I am your father. He says no. I am your father. See, that's the thing too. I hate this like search AI shit too, because the search AI stuff now on Google is telling you wrong shit. The line "Luke, I am your father" is often misquoted. Okay, here we go. So this was the other one. This is straight from Reddit. So I trust Reddit more than anything. Luke, I am your father is often misquoted from the 1980 Star Wars film. The line is actually, no, I am your father. Yeah, I know. I know, boy. I know. Yes, I think that's so weird. It's still to this day, I always think it's so weird. I always do a double take when someone says that. The Luke I am was a fan born as far as I can. Yeah, I mean, like, I just remember even when I was little, people were saying that. And I don't know if you guys remember, like, regular cable television back in those days, where whether it's like TNT or something, and Star Wars is playing, you know, during, like, Star Wars was always playing on TV back in those days too. And I think it's just really interesting that maybe they didn't actually watch Star Wars, you know, back then, and they were just kind of like saying it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of the folks remember deleted Luke Biggs on Tatooine that was in the film when it wasn't. Yes, yes. That see that is also interesting too. But I think what's also crazy, and I don't know if this is a deleted scene or not, but I swear to God, I always remember Kenobi in his hut talking to someone else that wasn't Luke. And I always remember that. And that was probably just because my weird imagination as a kid, thinking like seeing Leia's hologram for the first time and thinking that there was someone else in the room, and when there actually wasn't, you know. Yeah, man, I know it's definitely a tough time. Thank you so much, Ruben, for coming here, fam. When well, yes, yeah, no, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Imperial activity. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It was just a bad memory. The way my mind distorted things when I was really young, and I remember watching it again when I was conscious for the first time when I was like 10 or something, and I was like, oh, this doesn't happen. I don't know where this was. I remember in 6th grade, one of my friends said that he's gonna name his son Luke so he can say, Luke, I am your father. Yeah, dude, I think that's so funny. That is so crazy. Yes, and it was, and mind you, this was, so I remember this specifically when I was a kid because I was like, oh, you know, Phantom Menace had just come out. And, you know, I watched the old ones again because I was really young, and you know, I was like 10, 11, and I remember watching episode 4 again, and because I remember seeing Qui-Gon in the Phantom Menace, and I was like, oh, is that who he's talking to? He's talking to Qui-Gon in episode 4? Because I was just a little shit. I didn't understand things back then. And then I remember watching the movie and I was like, oh, this didn't happen. I'm crazy. Oh, okay. That was not the way. Dude. Yeah, no, I don't know if I could name my son Luke. I don't know. I don't want to be Anakin. I love Anakin. He's my favorite character, but I don't want to be him. No, I'm okay. Especially the way he treats his kid. I don't want to cut my kid's arm off. I don't think I'd want to do that. Yeah. All right, guys. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Last questions. Here we go. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yes, Solo was completely underrated, man. Yes, absolutely, dude. Yeah, I'll probably when it comes to David, when it comes to the cloak, I'll probably do that for the watch parties. I'll probably do that like for every watch party that we do. Yeah, schooled in 1981 radio drama. Then you about the oh my god, the episode 8 torture scene, scary stuff. What the flip? That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Radio dramas must have been crazy back then too. Sometimes when I go to libraries, they will have old radio dramas, which is really fun. But they are very hard to find. I sometimes when I go to thrift stores or garage sales, some people will have old audiobooks. I saw one of them that was Dark Empire the other day. I keep seeing the Jedi series everywhere, the Jedi Order series everywhere. So I'm not sure if a lot of like older fans didn't like that or what, or just some people don't realize what they have. Like a lot of people really like. Um, but yeah, fam. But yeah, dude, it is that time. It is 9 p.m. Please, guys, remember again next week. Again, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do the stream again. It's 8 p.m. Hopefully, if the stuff is done, I can probably advertise that we're going to do the Fall of the Sith Empire and talk about that because there's a lot of really cool characters that I want to get you guys into an educated fam. It's gonna be sick. Do you guys believe in the Mandela effect? I think that Luke, I am your father is proof. Like there are so many people that will continuously say, "Luke, I am your father," all the time, all the time. It's insane. It's crazy. Um, and I don't know where it started. I don't know how it started, but even people that like have never watched Star Wars will say, "Luke, I am your father," and people that have seen Star Wars will say, "Luke, I am your father." So I don't know. That started somehow. Don't know where. Don't know how. But that freaking started. Yeah, fam. Thank you guys for coming out, man. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys. Please go ahead, do your thing, follow, and please watch the Star Wars shorts on the channel, man. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Please, 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 please. Where is my opening? There we go. Bye, guys. Yeah, deuces, fam. See ya. I don't know how to shut off the YouTube live thing. Is it here? Is it there? Oh, yeah, there we go. Bye, guys.